It's the Andy and Dave Daily right here on the Muskegon Channel. I'm Andy O'Reilly. Dave Cackley is over yonder after a ball-breaking day on TV dressed up as a raccoon. He's ready.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah?
Yeah, so
Your idea?
no, it wasn't. But it was. Here's the thing: is Farron and Camity went out to get costumes for Aaron, Dan, and I, and also Farron and Camity dressed up as Dan because she was lazy with it. But um, but they wanted to make it easier for us because it was like towards the end of the show, so it wanted to be one of those situations where it had to be a costume we could get into pretty quickly. Because they thought about having us dress up as the Beatles or, one of the founding father, have that. And
Yeah,
that
something you had to have a meeting over.
Much. Yeah. It would have just been too much. So I was a raccoon, and I don't know why, but it was an easy costume to wear.
No, that's cool.
But I dressed as a varmint for Halloween.
If you'll
shocked that somebody didn't try and shoot me or run over me with a car. Or yell at me to get out of their garbage cans. Well, and you mentioned out there you've known people that have pet raccoons.
Yeah, it was my ex-wife's brother, her sister and brother-in-law had some pet raccoons they got when they were like itty bitty raccoons, and they were fairly tame. I mean, they didn't bite.
They didn't bite most of the time. Occasionally they did.
I mean, I didn't really cuddle them or anything like that. I'm like, oh wow, pet raccoons, hi.
You do that? I mean, that's gross.
Well,
sorry, I don't mean to be judgmental, but that's gross.
Okay.
Raccoons are gross. Okay, you don't.
Trash pandas.
You don't have them as pets. Yeah, trash pandas.
Well, I'll tell you what. God. Since you kind of got drubbed on your Halloween costume this year and demeaned a little bit, I did a little digging and I found the picture of you at Halloween when you were the priest.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, and guess what? It made its way back to Facebook today.
Really?
Along with all the attached memories. Yes, it did.
That was a fun night.
Yeah, it was. What you remember of it, anyway.
Yeah, it's a little.
You want to know what I remember of it?
What?
Let's go back. Okay, first and foremost, you were selling rainbow vacuum cleaners at the time.
Oh, shut up!
And you'd lost your keys in some poor sap's bushes before you came out to the Halloween party. So, in other words, you weren't leaving the guy's house until he bought the frickin' vacuum cleaner. I lost my keys. How convenient. Oh, buy the vacuum cleaner? Dave leaves. Huh, I'll be damned. Geez. And then after that, you show up dressed like a priest. You got drunk as a bucket of you-know-what. And then from there, you were out in the middle of the floor dancing with like 6 people who had no idea who you were. They were all like creeped out. Then you came up to me and you're like, and I grabbed a quick picture. And then as we were leaving, you're like, how do I find my way back to the hotel?
I didn't know which direction it was. I didn't know if it was.
And the best part of the whole thing, you were at the one end of the street where the hotel wasn't. And the hotel at the other end of the street was the tallest building on the block. And you still couldn't find your way back. That's accomplishment, man. Your mom had to be so proud.
Okay. In fairness to me, I wasn't drinking much then.
Oh, of course not.
I wasn't. So I drank a little too much that night. So I wasn't the refined Scotch man you see before you today. That was back in it was just, Coronas and rum and Cokes and, tequila shots, whatever, mixing and matching, rookie mistakes. But
you look like a combination of Beavis and Butthead out on that dance floor trying to get your groove on, and I'm literally standing there in that bar going, "Oh my God!"
I was beyond cool that evening. If memory serves me correct, it was
greatest Halloween ever. There you have it.
Absolutely.
So if you'd like to see a picture of your evening, just go to my Facebook page.
Okay. I will take a
You'll
gander.
Love it.
All right.
Make your mama proud again.
Ready?
Do some news.
Okay, let's do it. President Trump, along with First Lady Melania, as well as his son-in-law Jared Kushner and Ivanka, visited Pittsburgh's Tree of Life Synagogue on Tuesday. The president's appearance, of course, came in the wake of last Saturday's mass shooting during services that killed 11 people, the worst Jewish massacre on U.S. soil in America's history. President, of course, condemning the attacks as evil, and for some reason there were protests near the synagogue, which I didn't get. I mean, you can say a lot of things about the president. He's narcissistic, thin-skinned, petulant, childlike at times. You can argue with policies, get all that. But the idea that he would be stoking the embers of anti-Semitism when he's got a Jewish son-in-law, a Jewish daughter, and I think like 3 Jewish grandkids. Oh, and then he moves the embassy to Jerusalem and has really good ties with Israel. That makes like no sense.
I guess my question would have to be when he did visit, and again, I'm making no light of the situation whatsoever, but when he did visit, did he offer any points of security where he thought they could beef things up? Because that was his immediate suggestion. Because, Donald Trump knows things, and he knows how to, he's smart. And his first suggestion was if they had better security inside the synagogue, this wouldn't have happened. So maybe he could apply some of his smarts and tell people where to put better security inside a church where they shouldn't need church security in the first place.
Well, dude, you and I have talked about this, and I think we're both in agreement. You got to fortify these soft targets.
I don't disagree at all, but I mean, for God's sake, what I'm saying here is the president, the first thing out of your mouth when you're the president, when a mass shooting happens, shouldn't be, well, beef up security and these kind of things won't happen. Shut up.
I think he
don't be an asshole like that,
but
you know?
That's
I mean,
not being an asshole.
Really?
That's not. Seriously,
It is
and
too.
I hate doing this. I hate having to defend a guy I didn't vote for and
Then
I'm not
don't.
a big fan of. But some of this stuff is ridiculous. It absolutely is. The protests are dumb. Let's not be, this is one of these supposed
I didn't say it was a protest. I just said his initial reaction. You could be a little more compassionate.
No,
and there's a time and a place for everything.
First of all, compassion has never been Don's strong suit. Okay, it really hasn't been. But he did condemn the attacks. He did. Let's stop trying to find any and every reason you can.
I didn't. I found one. And I've been pretty quiet about the guy for quite some time.
Instead of just letting things go, let it go. Let it go. Let this happen. Let everybody come together and try and look. The guy's clumsy with the English language a lot. Okay, he's who he is, but the idea that he contributes to anti-Semitism,
I didn't say that.
It's just wrong. It's sick and it's wrong.
I didn't say he did.
No, but you did that little turnabout instead of just kind of glossing over.
I critiqued his lack of compassion for an incident that shouldn't have happened, and for him to have led.
You're reaching.
Huh?
You're reaching for that.
No, I'm not.
You're reaching for. He was not compassionate here. You can't. Why? Because he was after that. He's attacking the media again, which is what he does. Come on, man.
All I said was he could have been a little more compassionate with his first reaction to the thing. The first thing out of his mouth was, "Well, beef up security."
I don't think that was the first thing out of his mouth. But you and I have talked about fortifying soft targets,
and I don't disagree.
Synagogues and sure, okay. So then, why do you have a problem with it? Was it the time?
Did you hear anything I just said?
Yeah, I understand. You're saying
okay. So then move on to the next story.
That was the first. You think that wasn't the first thing out of his mouth?
Dude, there's an eloquence and dignity to the office, and he's got.
Come on, he doesn't have dignity. Yeah, but this is what this turned into. I was trying to tell a story about. Okay, this is what he did. And we turn this into another opportunity to try and crap on the president. I don't get it. I don't like it. I don't think it's right.
I critiqued one thing he did, and it was my initial reaction when I first saw it, and that's where it stands. So there you go.
Fine. There you go. What else is going on? Well, this is an interesting health related story. Being too fat or too thin, linked to increased risk of dying from nearly every major cause except traffic accidents. The latest study out of London found an increased risk of heart disease, cancer, and diabetes in those with either too high or too low body mass index. Body mass index is determined by dividing a person's weight by the square of their height. A BMI in the range of 21 to 25 is considered healthy. I think the thing is can be skewed a bit because it doesn't take into account muscle. It also doesn't take into account heredity, like genes. Like you're a big dude.
Mm-hmm.
Some would say overweight, but you have incredibly good genes when it comes to longevity. I mean, you've got everybody in your family is lives to be like 100 or 95, 97. Meanwhile, I can do all the push-ups, curls, and crunches I want. I'll be fighting off the stroke at 68. Okay, that's just, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But, that needs to be, when they do these studies, they need to kind of bring up other things like heredity and muscle mass and all that. And then not just, you got to be careful if you just go by body mass index, because that doesn't mean you're going to live a long, healthy life. It just doesn't.
There you go.
So anyway, Finally, Muskegon Lumberjacks back in action tomorrow. A little matinee against the Team USA under 18 squad. A truck drop. How did I get the truck box?
Because you're dumb? I don't know.
Puck drops at 10:30 a.m. Good excuse to skip work or maybe going late or just take a long lunch. Lumberjacks coming at 8-1. I assume you're going to be at the game tomorrow?
Of course. That's why we have to record tomorrow at 7:30.
Okay.
Keep that in mind.
Can't wait for that. Other sports, Celtics beat the Pistons 108-105 as the Red Wings over Columbus 5-3. Michigan just on the outside looking in of the college football playoff for the moment. They're coming at number 5 right behind fourth-ranked Notre Dame. Alabama atop the playoff poll. So we'll see how this shakes out. Michigan's got a good chance. If Michigan wins out, they're in. If they stumble, they're pretty much done. So every game from here on out is a playoff game for Michigan. So we'll see what happens there. But hey, they got a good shot. They're playing great. So we will see.
Going to turn you into a Michigan fan yet?
No, we're
make
not.
A respectable man out of you.
You know what that is? Did you see what that was, Andy?
What?
That was me being objective.
Okay.
Because when it comes to sports or news, I may be the last objective journalist on planet Earth.
Well, thank God you're here.
It's I got to keep things together, otherwise,
Complete
chaos.
That's what we don't. That's what we don't want. Get out of here. Go trick or treating or whatever.
Later.